No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD, and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he understands the fight that we're up against, and he can articulate that in a way that transcends race, that transcends demographic backgrounds. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage Vice President JD Vance.
Yesterday, Vice President Vance and Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika, were at this Turning Points USA event at the University of Mississippi. And the takeaway from this event for a lot of people was the gesture that was performed after Erika finished speaking, where she caressed the back of Vance's head. Now, I have tried in the months since Charlie Kirk's unfortunate assassination to be measured in my response to the stuff his widow does. I thought it was really weird that within, I think it was 2 days of his killing, she went on this live stream and gave this fiery, scornful speech. Within a few days of the killing, she was doing some video hovering over his corpse and whispering to it and talking to it. And again, it's like, I looked at this stuff, I thought it was kind of weird, but I said, all right, you know what? People grieve in different ways. I can't expect everyone to act the way that I think I would, and certainly have in losing different loved ones over and over and over again. But at this event, a lot of people felt that what she said about Vance and how she touched on him were inappropriate. She compared Vance to her late husband and, like I said, caressed the back of his head at an event where Vance's wife was in attendance. And, again, I tried previously to speak in this like measured way, to not really talk about her, because again, it's whatever. But honestly, this is the kind of stuff where, like, this is a big part of the reason I'm not really a fan of these organizations and groups and just the gather, because it's like this. I think normal people have a response to things that, regardless of what their ideology is, they'll probably adhere to it. The fallout from Kirk's assassination has been one of the strangest things I've had the misfortune of witnessing over the past month. From his YouTube channel with disappearing videos and stuff being uploaded by his, gang of goons that are, constantly lowering in views, but they got to keep pumping stuff out to keep this channel afloat instead of just making their own thing, because they know that they're going to have people are going to flock to it in the weeks and months after to kind of like still, because it's like a big promotional tour for them, this tragedy. To, again, a few days after his killing, his wife takes over his company. And in the past, people were speculating that she might be Vance's running mate in, 2028. But now they're speculating that she might be Vance's second wife after he divorces Usha. And, if this were 5-10 years ago, I would say there's no way in hell a married man, a married politician would just, leave their spouse. But honestly, I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility, because for one, we know that she was attacked, referring to Usha, during the 2024 campaign, which I thought was disgraceful, but that's just the nature of people that have a problem with someone because of their complexion, just, gross stuff. And we have seen multiple politicians and pundits and, just people involved in this sphere getting divorced. And I would say pretty record numbers. We've had Marjorie Taylor Greene get divorced, Lauren Boebert, Kellyanne Conway, the list goes on. We've been seeing more and more people leaving their spouses. Not even like, oh, I was married to this person for a year, 2 years, 5 years. Some of these people were married for 10 years, 20 years, had kids together, just like the Vances do. So it's not, I'm not going to rule it out. But I have to say, I normally, I think I've made about, in terms of stuff that Vance directly has done, not counting, oh, there's this poll or Trump said this about him. I think I've probably made about 4 videos about Vance since the election last year. I don't necessarily go out of my way to not talk about him, but he's not, he's just Trump's mouthpiece. He's just whatever. And you could say that about most VPs. They're just, a less restrained version of the president that they're under. And the problem is that Trump has such a larger than life personality that Vance doesn't really ever stand out. But it's like the office of the vice presidency has just, it has waned. I didn't cover when he filled in for Kirk's show as the host, but I was thinking to myself, what does it say about America that the man who is, as they always say, a heartbeat away from being the most powerful person in the world, right? The leader of the U.S., the man who is closer to that office than anybody that's already occupying it, has nothing better to do but fill in for a podcaster. And yesterday he was doing the same thing at this TPUSA event. And it's funny because I always thought about how, again, I'm not, there were VPs in the past like Mondale or Cheney who were powerful, right? Were able to do things while in office to boost the position. But it just seems like under Vance, they just show more and more signs of that partisan hackery that is really just making it more and more unbecoming. And I have to say, I've never seen any married man be grabbed on in that way by a woman who was not his wife. I remember when we were making fun of Pence for refusing to dine or eat with a woman that without his wife being present, how weird that was, because there are women who are heads of state and you can't just we got into that. But it's like, at least with him, you never got the sense that people thought, oh yeah, Pence is cheating on his wife. People are writing that on Twitter now, just willy-nilly. Oh yeah, I bet Vance was messing around with Erika before Charlie was gone. They're writing all types of stuff, and the problem is, again, most time I just, whatever, it's tabloid crap. I care about the issues, but this is weird. And it's part of this recurring pattern with Erika, where I don't even know what to call this anymore. I wouldn't even, be doing a video about this other than it not being part of that same strange, bizarre pattern of behavior from her, right? That's been going for the last month. Just stuff that I don't think is normal. So I don't even know what kind of timeline we're in, where the people just have no respect for boundaries or any kind of, I'm really thinking about it. I can't remember any other instance where it doesn't even have to be a VP. It could be a senator, a congressman, a president, where there was some woman that they weren't married to, and she was grabbing all on the back of their head. And I was like, what is this? But yeah, this is just more weird stuff from Erika. People are taking what she was saying about Vance and putting, love songs over, which I would play if I wouldn't be in trouble with via copyrights. But it's some odd behavior. We're seeing some really strange stuff, and I that's why I said I hate the whole thing about money in politics. Besides, just making people corrupt, is that it contributes to a lot of that strange behavior that you see from these people. Because Kirk's YouTube channel is not continuing to have videos uploaded to it because of, some desire to carry on his legacy. No, it's because they want to keep up the channel's flagrancy in the algorithm by pumping out stuff that has diminishing returns, that people are not watching as much. One, because either it's old stuff with Kirk or it's new stuff with the rest of them, which don't have anywhere near the fan base of Kirk. And only time they get really any attention is when they, put up something about the assassination, like news relating to that, where they react to it. And it's the same thing with Erika, where it's like, they put her as the CEO a few days after the man's passing. They have her at these different events, not because she's saying something that is insightful or, part of some larger conversation. She gives a, some speech, right? And then she'll introduce whoever the actual person that's filling in for Kirk is. And it's just, it's all part of that desire where, if this were a normal man who had passed away in the way that he did, you would see them go into, I don't want to say seclusion, but it'd be probably like a little bit of several weeks, a month, even longer, of just kind of like thinking, okay, what do we do now? They've taken the heart out of what we're doing. We got rid of our leader, but now someone dies, they prop him right. Like think about this. We're within 6 or 7 weeks of this man's passing. We have his widow doing, if she's not doing a video where she's swearing revenge on, random people, or showing his corpse a few days after the killing, or putting her, she's like putting her arms all over the vice president's back of his head. Then you have his supposed friend who just sits up there smiling 2 hours after his killing to talk about he's going to continue and carry on in his place, coming out of nowhere to snatch up his followers. Or you have his channel that's getting hollowed out like a corpse by the people running his organization to keep having stuff put on it that they know most people don't want to watch. That's why the views are down. But it's like, again, this is what's wrong with the financial aspect of this. People are no longer acting like human beings. It's all, how can I get more attention for myself? How can I get more money for me? It's some sad stuff, man. Because like I said, the people that are making like Kirk videos every single day, which I'm not, but still, we're not his friends. We were not friendly with him while he was alive. We either didn't know him, or if we did know of him, we didn't like him. But yeah, it's like, at least, that's the kind of behavior you would expect from someone who was not closely related with the man. All the rest of them are just, they're so parasitic. Like, I really feel bad for him in, like, posthumously. Like, we keep hearing about Kirk's legacy. All it is a guy who talked a lot of crap and got an unfortunate fate. And it exposed that a lot of the people around him, his wife, his supposed mentoree, his friends, they're all just trying to get some more attention or get some money or just do some, again, just weird stuff. These are like, I hate to copy a phrase from Tim Waltz, but these are some weird people. You like, I have a whole thing about like touching, like I'll shake people's hands, but even if I were friends with a woman, you wouldn't see me grabbing up on the back of her head. They are crazy.